Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of El Jefe's Chop Shop. So the first video I put up was just an intro, and this is the first episode of me actually doing some work. So this is an Is300, it's a 2001. I bought it off of Gumtree, and the guy that I bought it from, he bought it from a auction. So there's no front end damage, it's just been, some of the parts have been removed. He bought the car so that he could fix his up after he crashed the front of his. So he's bought this one, put some parts into his. As you can see, all the damage is at the back. It looks like it's hit a guardrail or something, so it slid out and backed into something pretty hard. The actual bodywork is stopping that rear wheel from turning. So that's the first order of business, cut that out and make the car roll. As you can see, this car has the cream leather interior, whereas my street car has the black leather interior. There's a few parts floating around in the car, but that's all how it was when I bought it. The guy had pulled some of it apart and stolen some parts for his car, which is fine. As you can see, it's pretty complete, and he didn't really use a whole lot of it. So this has the 2J non-turbo VVTi. It has about 230,000 Ks on it, and it runs really well. So as you can see, it's all untouched. He's literally just taken the guard and the headlight out, and that's about it. So it's perfect for what I want to do. I bought this car so that I can pull the interior out and all of the electrics and use some of the parts for my car. So I want to use all the wiring and all of the electric motors and the lights and the steering column for the Dodge. And then I'll use some parts for my car. And then I'll part out the rest of it and hopefully make my money back, if not double my money, which would be nice. But as you can see, that spare tyre is absolutely jammed in there. So this is the street-driven everyday Is300. It's pretty much standard at the moment. It's got some different wheels on it and a few little trim bits like the roof spoiler and the weather strips. But overall, it's very standard. It's just a reliable everyday car for now. So as you can see, I've taken to the back of the car with a reciprocating saw and cut the spare wheel out and cut some of this corner off and used a hammer and a crowbar to pull the bodywork away from that tyre, so now it actually spins. I also removed the front guard and the bumper because they were both dragging on the ground. And you can see it's all straight and untouched. Nothing's actually bent or damaged in the front end at all, which is great. Bit more work on the Lexus today. Got all the wiring free in the boot. So it's all just sitting there. And took the door card off. And all the wiring in the back seat is all free. And the back seat's out obviously. Took the front door card off. And all of the dashboard. And everything I'm not going to be using. And the seats are unbolted but still plugged in. Took this guard off yesterday. And the bumper off yesterday. Engine is still untouched. Come around to here, this door card's gone, all that airbag's gone, the stereo, all the aircon stuff is all, well, the aircon controls are there, but all of the aircon stuff up the top's all gone. And this back door is stripped as well. So just got to do the rest of the seats and stuff and then cut it up. This is all the parts I've removed so far. So I've got some of the interior, and then the center console and a bunch of screws, and then a bucket of bolts, the dashboard, which was a huge pain in the bum, then the back seat and the other door cards, and all of the rear seat, the pull down thing, the center console, and the grill and the guard and stuff. And there's another tail light up here. The other one was completely smashed. Took the fog lights off and sold the bumper. There's the door rubbers. and I'm still using the battery out of this one, which I'll have to put back in a minute. It's much nicer than that one. Just did a bit of a clean up, and now I'm going to show you that the car still drives with not much in it. A little bit awkward because the seat's not bolted in, and that mirror wants to go, window wants to go down. It's always entertaining. Alright, so it still drives. Key on. Get the window switch out. Goes up. Goes up. Cool. Put that one back down. And the sunroof still works. Right, now let's drive. So, starts better than my other one, which is annoying. And then we have to press the shift lock and then try and get to reverse to drive. Handbrake off, shut the door, and this thing crab walks like crazy. Sure you can't see, but that wheel is not happy. Alright, so that's about the end of that. To reverse. You'll see, yeah, we're bogged. That's always good. So I just went forwards a little bit, and now we're in reverse again, and we're all good. It's not very happy, but it's still in it. Alright, let's keep moving this. Bit of negotiation later, and we're in the same spot but backwards. So the shed is just there. But this thing sounds pretty good because the rear muffler got taken off in the crash. Sounds nicer than that. That's about it for today. So I've pulled the doors off the Lexus and everything out of them. And all the wiring from the back of the car has been moved to the front of the car. There's nothing left in the back except for what's underneath the car. And all the wiring is up the front, which looks like a bird's nest. We've taken the roof lining out and all the wiring and the antenna, and we're ready to cut it. So I'm going to cut about here to keep the roof for myself, and then someone wants the back window, so I'm going to cut around the frame so they can take it to a shop and get it taken out professionally. And the doors are off. I need to cut the driver's doors up, sorry, the front doors, and the back doors I'll sell. And there's a roof lining there, and the seat, and all the stuff from the roof, which 2 interior lights and a whole bunch of other crap. The carpet, Emily's over there watching TikTok videos. The other 2 doors, and just screws everywhere. So I'll clean up and get back to you. Cleaned up yesterday, but it was too dark by the time I was done to show you. So I moved the Lexus over to the other side, and I'm about to cut the front 2 doors up. So I'm going to cut the door handles out and the latch. So when I've done that, I'll get back to you. As you can see, I can cut up the front doors. Got the door handles off each door and the latch from each door. And then when I cut the car apart, I'm going to keep the receiving half of the latch so that I can graft them into the Dodge doors. And then I've just run a layer of duct tape on the front, on the outside and on the inside of this window, so when I cut it tomorrow, hopefully that'll keep some of the glass in place and not spread it all through the electronics. Not that it matters, but it might cut me up, so I'm trying to avoid that if we can. And that's it for now. We'll come back tomorrow and hopefully cut the roof off. So it's been about an hour since I've been here, And I've cut the roof off, cut the B pillars out, and I've cut the rear window out so that the guy can take the window taken out. And I've cut off a few of the outside skins so I could get access in here and cut myself apparently. So it's all coming along alright. The glass idea did work reasonably well with the tape on it, but then I decided to cut this bit out and shattered glass everywhere, so I'm going to have to vacuum all of that up. That's alright. I'm going to get it running in a minute, which will be hilarious, but we'll see how we go. And there's the B pillars, the rear window with the metal frame around it, and the roof with the sunroof all intact, which I dropped and dented almost immediately because it is heavy as hell. But I'll vacuum this out and try and get started, and I'll update you then. Alright, so I've vacuumed up the glass and I've laid out all the wiring. So that's the front driver's door, the rear driver's door, and if you come in a little bit, hooked up the fuel tank and the O2 sensor, and then that is the alarm wiring that got smashed in the accident. The rear speakers, that's the rear ABS plug, which is also not working at this point. Come around here, that's the boot wiring, which I haven't hooked up because someone cut it off when they cut the boot off. We've got the tail lights, and then the rear passenger door, and some of the airbag stuff. A whole bunch of clips that weren't connected, another ABS sensor. The other side of the fuel tank's hooked up. Got the front passenger seat, and there's the same on the other side for the driver's seat, which is the airbag wiring and the heater and the electric slide. That's the interior light for the boot. And then we come around here, we've got the front door, and I've just hooked it up to the other Lexus, so hopefully I don't have to take the battery out again. And then we've got all the hood lining wiring, so we've got all the interior lights, the sunroof, the antenna, and the front airbags, which I haven't disconnected yet. So hopefully that don't go off, that'll be entertaining at least. I've put the gauge cluster back in, and all this wiring remains untouched at this point. I've run some tape along the front window so that it stops dropping glass and I don't cut myself anymore. So let's give it a fire up and see how we go. Might not even start. So I've got the other Lexus running with the headlights on to draw a bit more current. Got the key for the crashed Lexus, and let's see if this works at all. So turn it on, get up here. We've got a few lights, which is not unusual, and then try and start it, and we're in action. So we've got traction control not working, vehicle stability control not working, airbags not working, that's fair enough. Handbrake light is not having a great time, I'm not sure why that is. No ABS and no headlight adjustment. Other than that, we're using correct voltage and lots of fuel per kilometres because we're not going anywhere. That seems reasonably good, to be honest. So while the car's running, I just want to check some of the features. So we've got the clock, that should be fine, I can't see anything being wrong with that, that's fine. The outside temp is 21 degrees, which is connected to the mirror, so that should be okay. Does the aircon work? Yep, that seems actually nice and cold, which is a little bit funny. Heater, crank that up, stop moving, crank the heater up, and we'll go face only, which made this little flap go, that's good. Just give that a minute to heat up. Hazard lights I can't check. We got the seat heaters, the traction control off button. Click that again. Did that traction control light go out? No, it didn't. Okay, so we got some deeper issues in that, which is not surprising. The heater's quite warm too, so that means that all the stuff up there should be pretty healthy. Next we'll check the doors. So the next thing, instead of the doors, I just chucked the radio back in before I sell this. Does it work? That one's working, that one's working, that one's working. Obviously there's no antenna, so it's going to be horrible. Walk around here and check the fourth speaker. That one's working. Got the tweeters. Like, no idea if that's working. Cool. Alright, we'll turn that off and now we'll check the doors. Alright, so I'm sitting on the ground with the front driver's door. So I haven't got a passenger side mirror hooked up, so we'll see if this one does anything when I press the button. Oh, sorry. So that is the auto retract feature. We've got the adjustment, which might not work. No, that appears to be working fine too. Left, right, perfect. Up and down, perfect. Alright, next is the driver's window. Perfect. Now I'm wondering, this light here is the interior, like door open light on the door. So I'm wondering if it actually thinks if the doors are shut or not. So I've got one of the doors latches here. Just wondering if I can press the lock button, if it will actually lock, because I know that if it thinks one of the doors are open, it won't lock the whole lot. So we'll see. It went one way. No, it thinks one of the doors is open, I think. It's not happy about that. Maybe because the car's running. I'll turn the car off. And then give that another go. So... no, it doesn't think that's working at all. It's alright. So the door handle unlocked. No, it's not having fun with that one, so I have to sort that out. That's probably just an earthing issue, I think. So next we've got the back driver's side door. So the switch is over here. So does the white window worker, window winder, it works perfectly. That was a mouthful. And I'll go to the front, grab the front switch again, and just check this one here to see if that works. And it does not seem to work. So that's not a great start. So something's wrong there as well. That front door should obviously do the back door as well. Alright, we'll walk around and do the other side. So we've got the rear passenger door here. The switch. Window works perfectly. It's going quite well, really. Obviously the tail lights are questionable. They don't seem to be working, but who knows. I'll try the indicators in a minute. Here's the other front door. Sorry about all the noise if you can't hear me. And perfect, all the switches work. So I'll just have to get the front one to talk to the other ones. I'd like to delete all of the singles and just use the driver's door main switch in the middle of the car. But we'll see how we go with that one. So walk back around, find the hazard switch, which is here. Flick that on. It says we've got hazards. Are they working though? Yeah, one side's working. That's a good start. This side's all mangled, so I'm not surprised that's not working. Alright, let's check the front. Don't think there's any lights actually hooked up in the front. There's no headlight and no indicator on this side. And this side we've got a front headlight indicator and we've got a guard indicator. Perfect. May as well check the horn, I guess. That works fine. Turn the hazards off. What else have we got? Headlights, we've only got one side that's on anyway. But does it work? Yep, that works. Oh, yuck. Hate for these aftermarket ones, that's gross. Turn that off. Indicator, this side flashing quickly but works. It's a good start. Turn that off. That's about all I can check, really. I'll catch up with you next time I'm doing something. So I've cut the roof off today. B-pillars, the rear window, some of the back. Put all the wiring outside and tested everything I can. And now I've cut about 90% of the way through the car. I left everything underneath connected because that seems like a great idea. And I've just run out of battery on the reciprocating saw right there. There's fuel going everywhere because I didn't think about that. and the rear wheels are off. So we've almost got a running front cut, but we'll see how we go for the rest of the day. Alright, so the car's chopped in half. Still got the tail shaft and the exhaust holding it together. Tail shaft should slip out of the transmission. The exhaust, not so much. We'll see how we go. So I've got it tied around the rear on that, and the tow point on the back of the good Lexus. So this could get a little bit sketchy. I just want to move the front cut forwards about a foot, and then I should be able to get the back half, get into the exhaust, cut everything I need to cut, and then move the rear half away. So let's see how we go. So you can kind of see the half cut in the mirror here. Just going to roll forwards in drive, get that rope tight, and then hopefully just give it a little yank. That might have been all we needed. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. That's the stuff. So that worked alright. We've pulled the two halves apart. The tail shaft hasn't come out yet, but I have got access to the exhaust now. You still see the fuel dripping out, which is a little bit dangerous, but we'll be alright. So the front half's almost on the ground again, and the back half's still resting on the C30 rims. Alright, I'll cut it and get these two halves apart. So you can see the exhaust has been cut in half in here. Tail shaft is reasonably level. I've jacked the back up. So we'll try and pull this a little bit more and get that tail shaft to yoke to slide out of the transmission. Let's say we're good to go. Let's jump out and have a look. Front cut. Tail shaft's hanging out. Back of the trans isn't leaking because we've got the jack under the back over there. That's exactly what I was after. So now we have a front cut and a rear cut, which we need to take the cradle and the fuel tank out of, and the diff and all that sort of crap. But it's pretty much as far as I can go today, I think. I have to tarp this up so it doesn't get rain on it, and have to flip that over at some point and pull it all apart. Another day of chopping up the Lexus. I forgot to film, but I've taken out the fuel tank, the rear cradle with the diff, all of the rear suspension, and every single nut and bolt off of this half, off the back half, sorry. Tail shaft's out, handbrake cables are out, handbrake, the top section's out, and all of the covers and all of the the carbon canister and everything from under here. It's all been removed. So now this is ready to go to scrap. I'm going to try and clean up and flip this towards the fence and give myself a driveway back. See how we go. So that was pretty easy, just flip the back of the Lexus off of the wheels they were sitting on. It's reasonably not light now. I reckon two people could pick it up and put it in a trailer, so that's alright. And now I'll just clean up all this crap and then we'll start on the front half.